drumroll please, for the winner of our first $10 giveaway, Aaron Clawwater. Make sure to stay tuned next time so you can be the lucky recipient of free money, because who doesn't love free stuff?
So today we're going to start our series where we are going to do full free agency recaps for each and every single NFL team, and then we are going to be giving them a grade overall for who they signed. Hopefully it is a good grade, and yeah, so hopefully your team will be coming up, So we're going to do the Cincinnati Bengals today. So there's going to be a few signings left out, but the signings we left out are going to be players that you've never heard of in your life. So we're going to go over the people who you'll know. So let's roll with it, baby. So here they signed Xavien Howard, right? So this was a signing for Joe Burrow purely, right? So Howard, he started his career with the Houston Texans. Spent 2 years with the Dallas Cowboys. He's all right. He's an okay player. He's not anything to get like super excited about, but he'll be a mediocre piece on the interior offensive line to hopefully protect Joe Burrow. And his contract was 3 years, $10 million. So we are taking into account contracts and how good of a contract or how bad of a contract it was. So we will see. But I'm going to give Xavien Howard a C- signing. So let's roll to the next signing. The next guy that they signed was Josh Bynes. So Josh Bynes is an oldie by now, right? So he spent last season with the Baltimore Ravens. He had previously, played for the Cardinals and other teams like that. He's a rotational linebacker. He played 12 games. He only had 1 sack. He had, 23 solo tackles. I think this is probably more of a veteran leadership one, but to be honest with you, he's probably not going to make the team. So I'm giving this pick a D grade. We're going to go with a D. Next guy. So this guy is DJ Reader, right? So this is probably one of the two high, most profile people that they signed. So he's coming off of his best career year. He spent last season with the Houston Texans. So he played the run style, top defensive lineman. So he's coming off a 28 solo sack, 52 total. That should not say 28 solo sacks. It should say 28 solo tackles. Excuse that. But let's change that real quick. Okay, now we're good. So he played 15 games last season. He's had some injury issues in his career, which is not too great. But he had 2.5 sacks, 28 solo tackles, and they signed him 4 years, $53 million. That's the only reason I'm not giving this a higher grade. I think they invested way too much at that position for DJ Reader. So I'm going to give this a C+ grading. Next, we got McKenzie Alexander. He spent last season with the Minnesota Vikings. He got a half sack, 30 solo tackles. He's had injury issues, rotational cornerback. They signed him on a 1-year prove-it deal. The weakness of the Bengals this year, the real hard weakness, was a secondary. So, they signed a couple secondary players. But Alexander's not going to make any waves or anything like that. So let's give him a D+ grading. Now, this is a guy who I think is going to be the best out of who they signed. So this guy, Vaughn Bell, he's with the Saints. He's young. He's got more upside than downside. I think that's always something you look at whenever you're going to sign a free agent. Like, are they on the downside of their career or are they on the upswing? I think Vaughn Bell's on the upswing. He's not flashy, but he's a solid safety that's going to hold it down in the back. He had 1.5 sacks, 66 solo tackles, and 2 forced fumbles. And they signed him for 3 years, $18 million, which is actually a pretty good contract, in my opinion. But I think that was a good pickup. So we're going to give that a B grading. So next guy, Tre Waynes. He was a rotational cornerback for the Minnesota Vikings. He had 1 pick in 2019. He's 27. He's going to fight for a roster spot. And they signed the guy to a 3-year, $42 million contract. Okay, that is way too much money on a 27-year-old semi-good cornerback. Okay, the Bengals, signed him for way too much money, in my opinion. That's why I'm giving this a bad grade of D+. So the final grade I'm going to assign the Cincinnati Bengals offseason is I'm going to assign them, drum roll, I'm going to assign them a C. Okay. I think for the most part, they didn't really get any flashy guys, but Vaughn Bell helped him out a little bit. I think they kind of overpaid some guys. So, yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching this free agency recap. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you would have graded it. And, yeah, be on the lookout for your team's free agency recap coming up. Adios.